opening and alleging that Christ must needs have suffered and risen again from the dead, and that this Jesus whom I preach unto you is Christ.
See, now, Paul, when he went and dealt with the Sabbath day, he read the scripture like we did. He opened the Bible up. Let's go to Leviticus 23. We're going to go back to the Old Testament because we're going to show you why Jesus had this custom, why Paul had this manner. They knew what the Bible taught concerning the seventh day, this holy day. Leviticus 23, and we are going to pick it up at verse 1. Leviticus 23 and verse 1. Okay, go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye may proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts.
Now, I want you to take note that here, God's speaking all of this. Moses didn't make it up. So don't let nobody tell you the seventh day, that's the Mosaic law. You honoring the Mosaic law. Yeah, Moses gave it to the people. But guess what? Moses got it from God. And I'm talking about face to face. So don't make light of this. God, it said at verse 1, and the Lord spake unto Moses. God told Moses about these holy days, including this seventh day. He got other holy days throughout the year. We keep them all because they in the Bible for a reason. The Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Weeks, which is Pentecost. That's the Greek word for it. Don't matter. Mean 50. The Memorial Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and the Feast of Tabernacles or Ingathering. All of them are in this chapter. All of them are holy to the Lord. But the constant holy convocation or get together that we have is every week. On what day? We're going to see. Go ahead, pick it up at verse 3.
6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest.
See, again, you do your thing in 6 days, and the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest. Take a break. Honor God on this day, and he going to reward you in the end because it's pointing to something in the end. Go ahead.
And holy convocation, ye shall do no work therein.
Go ahead.
It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
Now, did that say the Sabbath of the Jews, brother?
No, sir.
Didn't say the Sabbath of the Jews.
No.
You don't read nothing in the Bible about a Christian Sabbath, do you?
No, sir.
What did that say? It is the Sabbath of who?
The Sabbath of the Lord.
The Sabbath of the Lord. And he said, in all your dwellings. That's what the seventh day is. Don't tell me it's the Jewish Sabbath. No, it's the Sabbath of the Lord. He gave it to the Jews, but he also gave the Jews, thou shalt not kill. Is that just for the Jews? That means any other person, Greeks, Romans can just kill and do what they want to do? No. You are offending God and your neighbor when you do that. So he say it's the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwelling. The seventh day. Let's go to Psalm 95 because Sabbath means rest. God didn't need none, so that's why we know he made this day to benefit you. He made this day to give man some rest. We need to rest.
That's right.
And we need more rest than ever now because this world is wicked. Upside down, backwards, out the back door. It's messed up. So now, we're going to show you what this day is pointing to show you it could never be done away with. It started in the beginning at the creation, and it's signifying something at the end of time. That's how awesome God is. Yes, God said, I call the end from the beginning, being that he know what's going to happen. Psalm 95, and we are going to pick it up at verse 10, because I'm going to show you what this Sabbath, holy 7 days point to. This day that we take out to rest every 7th day. I'm going to show you what this rest is really referring to. Psalm 95 and verse 10. Psalm 95 and verse 10. Okay, go ahead, Brother Wayne.
40 years long was I grieved with this generation, and said, it is a people that do err in their heart, and they have not known my way.
Go ahead.
Unto whom I swear in my wrath, that they should not enter into my rest.
Oh, now look at this. We talking about rest here. Pay attention to this. We talking rest here because that's what Sabbath means. See, we getting ready to find out that this 7th day is pointing to much more than us getting together every 7th day. We need to do that because we honoring God and we being refreshed and being reminded about God so we can continue to walk with him. We need to do that. Not on Sunday, the first day. On the 7th day, if we're going to listen to God. But now it's bigger than that because he said here, 40 years long was I grieved with this generation and says the people that err in their heart and they have not known my ways, unto whom I swear in my wrath, they shall not enter into my rest. What do you mean enter into my rest? I told you God rested on the seventh day, not for his benefit, but for our benefit, so we can get some rest. But if you don't listen to God and obey God, you won't enter in it. That's what he said to these people that was in the wilderness back in Moses' time. Remember, God made those people walk around the desert, the wilderness, for 40 long years until they all died. See, that's how awesome God is. You can make God mad. He don't have to come slap you upside the head right away. He said, look, you're going to die anyway. I'll let you go head on. I'm going to outlast you. You're going to die. That's what he did to them. He let them live for 40 years till they all died out. God was through with them. But he said something else. He said something more important. He said, they will not enter into my rest. What do that mean? Let's see. Let's go to Hebrews, the 4th chapter. Hebrews, the 4th chapter, and we will pick it up at verse 1. Hebrews 4 and 1. We're going to get some understanding about this holy seventh day of rest. Hebrews 4 and 1. Okay, go ahead.
Let us therefore fear, lest the promise being left of us entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it.
Oh, now notice what he said here, brothers and sisters. He said, let us therefore fear. People don't want to fear God nowadays. But the Bible telling you all over, you got to fear God. That means even if it's something I want to do, I got to have enough sense to know I can't do it. I got to fear God and do what he wants me to do. So Hebrews 4 and 1 right here just told us, let us therefore fear, lest the promise being left us of entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it. So we are seeing clearly that this rest is bigger than every seventh day that we keep. Pointing to something bigger that we can get into or not get into. Remember, Psalm 95 just told us he swore in his wrath they won't get into it, the people that was with Moses. So what did he mean? Was he talking about the promised land? No, they didn't make it to the promised land. But that wasn't the rest. The rest is future, because if it was the promised land, we wouldn't even have an opportunity to enter into it or not. No, we got a chance to make or break this rest, to make this rest or not. That's why he said, let us fear, lest a promise being left us or enter into his rest, we fall short, like they did. He going to tell you, go ahead, Hebrews 4 and verse 2 now.
For unto us was the gospel preached as well as unto them.
See, we got the word just like they got it. Go ahead.
But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it.
Didn't profit them in the old days, because they didn't have no faith in it. See, faith been around. It's just what you believe, and if you do what you hear. Go ahead.
For we which have believed do enter into rest.
Go ahead.
As he said, as I have sworn in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world.
See what he said? He said, look, he swore to those people in Psalm 95. That's what we read it at. He swore to them back there in Moses' time. But we read it, he swore they wouldn't enter into his rest. But what he means, since he rested a long time ago, how they going to enter in? They going to enter in back there? No, this rest is future, brothers and sisters. They ain't going backwards. No, the rest is to come. So in other words, brothers and sisters, he set that day up in the beginning as a great sign of something in the end. That's what it's all about. That's why he said here that he swore in his wrath, they should not enter in, although the works were finished from the foundation of the world. He's going to take you back to the foundation. Go ahead, verse 4.
For he spake in a certain place of the seventh day on this wise, and God did rest the seventh day from all his works.
Oh, he spoke that. We read that in Genesis 2 last week. He spoke of the seventh day on this wise, and God did rest the seventh day, not the first day. We ain't talking about Sunday. Nowhere in the Bible are we talking about Sunday as a special day. That's man-made tradition. The special day in the Bible is the holy seventh day. Now, Saturday is a name they gave to it. I ain't worried about the name. We know that that's talking about Saturn. But the day is still the seventh day. That's what's important. So he said he spake in a certain place on the seventh day on this wise, and God did rest. So he's equating when God rested on the seventh day with the rest that we can or cannot enter into depending on our actions. Now let's get to the